I guess we're gonna talk about intimacy, so sorry, Dad.
When you're feeling sick, when you're not feeling well, you don't really want to think about sex.
Yeah, intimacy and chronic illness. Two things that don't fit naturally together in a sentence. And really, don't fit naturally together in the physical either.
My relationship to intimacy has been flipped upside down since my diagnosis.
There was no sex.
It just kind of kills the mood, so to speak.
Yeah, this is really personal.
I didn't even have the strength to masturbate. I didn't have that strength.
I was scared, I was anxious, I was trying to figure out what was happening to me.
Certain times I would just be in pain, and like when you're in pain, that's not conducive to wanting to have sex.
With MDDS, you're always feeling the motion in the ocean. So the desire to add to the motion in the ocean is, it's just not there.
It kind of just killed my sex drive completely.
Being touched on my face, our foreheads touching, any type of contact will set off these electric shocks. And nothing is more distracting while you're being intimate than being electrocuted.
The fistulas kind of destroyed my vagina. You know, to put it bluntly, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything with this.
Some of the medications that they give us to treat these conditions affect your sexual libido.
I didn't even really want him to touch me because I was in so much pain.
Sudden movement will trigger more dizziness and I will feel nauseous, I will feel really sick. And then I wouldn't be able to focus 100% on being intimate with my partner.
I must remind myself that I enjoy the feeling of intimate interactions when my frequent fevers might suggest that I keep my distance.
Hygiene is a big factor with intimacy. I try to close my eyes in the shower and I fall over. And so I have to hang onto a wall and I'm in this small enclosed space. And all of those things are a trigger for me and they get me so incredibly dizzy.
Fatigue is one of the biggest killers to sex.
Certain positions were extremely fatiguing.
So you pair hygiene, you pair exhaustion, it affects my libido big time. Big time.
I wasn't even thinking about sex. I was just depressed.
It would have been nice to at least read someone else's story about this kind of issue so I didn't feel so alone.
We all know that intimacy is vitally important for a relationship, and it's something that takes a constant effort with somebody who feels like dog do all the time.
It took away a big part of being married.
I didn't want her to see me in pain, much less have her see me naked.
Maybe my partner won't feel satisfied anymore. Maybe my partner might leave me. Maybe my partner might start looking for someone else.
When my ex-wife left me 4 months after my diagnosis, it brought up major issues of betrayal and abandonment.
And then I go through this mental battle of feeling like I'm not enough.
The condition and the medication can affect how you feel about yourself and how you feel about sex.
You know, after having an ileostomy, it kind of did a huge number on my self-esteem, which was already not great.
My self-worth and my opinion of myself was really low.
I felt so unattractive, undesirable, weak, ashamed, guilty.
I had even told her that maybe she should just find a partner to be with. And because of the fact that I'm not able to please her in a way that I feel she deserves.
And so to reconcile with all of that and still find the desire it's a struggle. It's a big struggle.
the sooner that you allow yourself to be okay with whatever is, the sooner you'll stop resenting your illness and resenting yourself for not being able to do the things that you think that you ought to do. And you'll then be able to feel more embodied into the things that you can do.
For me, intimacy is a state of being in relationship to the other or the external world. Trust, openness, and vulnerability are the fertile soil from which intimacy blossoms.
You get to play with what the cards that are given to you, right? You can either throw them down or figure out how to play that hand.
Sex is still satisfying for me and for my partner, but you have to mold it.
Turn to your partner. Be honest. Let them know how you feel. Let them know what you need. If there's something that causes you pain, let them know. If there's something you need to avoid, let them know. If there's something that's going to make you feel really freaking great, you better let them know.
You have to find out what works for you and for your partner. And communication and patience are key.
And honesty. So honesty with your partner or partners, honesty with yourself.
I have to listen to my body, and if it's like I'm having a day where things are more painful, we just won't, and we communicate with each other a lot, and that's a huge important thing.
Do not pretend to be okay when you're not.
You have to express to your partner or your lover or whoever it is that the new you is a different you, but it doesn't necessarily mean a worse you. It means a different, more unique you.
I think part of that communication and honesty is understanding that you may not always feel up for sex, and that's okay. That doesn't change your sexuality, that doesn't change your desirability, that doesn't change your worth to yourself or your partner.
How do you reroute the way you have done it before? To me, it was a challenge. How do you have calm sex? We figured it out.
There are things like sex furniture, sex pillows, or wedges that can really facilitate more comfortable and deeper and more relaxing penetrative sex.
It's not that before we were like these acrobats that were doing all these crazy things. Maybe a little bit, but we have to like tone it down. We have to be very careful. We have to be very patient.
A really important part of our intimacy is cuddling, because cuddling always feels nice and it doesn't hurt. And even when I'm in a lot of pain, just being held feels really nice.
Sometimes sex isn't going to look, how it looks on a movie or how it looks in a porno or something like that.
I think there's an emphasis around actual penetration.
But you know what? Intimacy is so much more than that, and that's what I've learned.
That you can evoke a sensual experience without overtaxing your body.
Like maybe more kissing, more touching, more caressing.
It can be eating something beautiful together and kissing. It can be small things that allow pleasure to come back into the body.
His putting his hand on my leg and holding my hand and caressing my face and stroking my hair.
My practice of intimacy is to be, as much as possible, completely present with the people I am around, feeling them with my empathy and intuition, but also using all my senses and deductive reasoning.
Presence is what brings us back to sensation.
My dear friends visited recently. Nearly the whole time they were here, they rubbed my arms as we talked. We were connected physically and emotionally. Isn't that the core of intimacy? Obviously, I can't rub their arm back. I can't give them a hug or anything like that. Does that mean I don't have the capacity to be intimate? Let me quote Luke Skywalker in Star Wars 8, reach out with your feelings. Through empathetic ability I can touch someone, so to speak.
One thing that chronic illness has done is it's forced me to be vulnerable, not just with myself, but with others. And that is something that is really opening in and of itself.
In 2 years, I went from not being able to use my right hand to being on a ventilator and not being able to move my body. In another 6 months, I had to move into a state adult family home. All along the way, it was incredibly, beyond measure, humbling, and was a demolition to my egotistical self-image. That is where the freedom came from. I mean, what the fuck do I care what you think about me? I'm dying here. Letting go of my desire to control what others thought about me was replaced by trust in others to accept my authentic self-expression. With that trust in others, an openness and vulnerability naturally filled me.
That's really the foundational step to wanting to take it into the next level, which is self-fulfillment and self-pleasure and feeling worthy of more than just survival in a day-to-day, but actually like leaning into the pleasures and joys that life offers.
It's loving it, it's connecting, it's bonding, it's feeling that attraction, feeling that desire, feeling that love.
We made time to be intimate. We made time to find pleasure even in the hardest of moments.
So I'm really fortunate that I have an amazingly supportive spouse and partner that I can communicate with and share these feelings with. And I know not everybody has that same luxury.
Since I live in an adult family home, I don't get many visitors. This has drastically changed my intimate relationships. This means I stay connected with my friends and family through text and email. Intimacy, then, boils down to making it apparent I love them and am here to support if needed.
It has affected my intimacy with my husband, but we're just, we're very solid, and I'm very grateful that I have such a good, life partner that understands me and understands what I've gone through and understands the severity of it and doesn't judge me.
She has committed fully as my partner, as somebody who's there to support me as I go through this, and loves me unconditionally.
I'm just so thankful for a husband that is my best friend, not just my lover. We connect intimately in so many other ways.
It's gonna be really bright. Sun's gonna be right in your eyes.
If intimacy is our loving embrace with our heart of the other, can I not always be in an intimate state of mind with the divine? I'm not talking about some man in the clouds, but to hold the whole world with love, all of existence, all of creation, all of life, and especially all our brothers and sisters of humanity. That, for me, is the highest form of intimacy.